Imagine being able to say just a few carefully chosen words and instantly form a deep, almost magnetic connection with a woman. Sounds impossible? Think again. The truth is, words hold power, massive power. When used with the right timing and tone, they can stir emotions, spark fascination, and create intense attraction, often before you even realize it's happening. Today, I'm going to reveal 6 powerful phrases that aren't just clever lines, they're psychological triggers that flip the script, boost your perceived value, and naturally pull her toward you. These phrases help you stand out, avoid the dreaded friend zone, and create real chemistry. And trust me, the 6th phrase is so bold, most guys would never dare to use it. But the ones who do, they own the room. So, stick with me until the end. You'll want every single one of these in your conversational arsenal. Phrase 1, that's what I like best about you. This phrase is a masterclass in giving compliments that actually matter. Instead of throwing out overused lines like, you're so pretty, or, you look great, this one goes deeper. It shows that you're paying attention, not just to how she looks, but who she is. Say something like, the way you talk about your goals, it's refreshing. That fire in your voice. That's what I like best about you. Or, your perspective on things, it's not just smart, it's different. That's honestly what I admire most. Why this works. Everyone, especially women, wants to feel seen beyond the surface. When you zero in on something unique to her, something genuine, it makes her feel recognized, valued, and emotionally connected. When to use it? Use this phrase during meaningful moments, when she's sharing something personal, laughing freely, or showing her real self. Delivered with sincerity and warmth, this phrase makes you unforgettable. Phrase 2, I'm not really that easy, the art of subtle power. This phrase may sound simple at first glance, but beneath its light-hearted tone lies a powerful message about self-respect, scarcity, and attraction. Think of it as a velvet glove with a hidden steel frame. It's soft, charming, and humorous on the surface, but what it really does is flip the entire dating script. Why most men get this wrong? Let's start with what most guys do when they're interested in a woman. They over-pursue. They constantly compliment her. They respond to every message instantly. They never disagree or tease, they just go along with everything. In short, they try to win her over with pleasing behavior. And on paper, this sounds good. Who doesn't want to be liked? But here's the catch, excessive availability makes you look like you have nothing else going on. And that kills attraction. When you're too easy to get, you lose value. Why? Because people value what's rare. What's earned. What's not immediately accessible. And that's where this phrase comes in. How to use the phrase in real life. Let's say you're talking to a woman and she starts teasing you, maybe about your outfit, your dating life, or something playful. She's testing you to see how you'll respond. Most guys in that moment would laugh nervously or try to defend themselves. But not you. You lean in slightly. You smile. And you say, you're going to have to try harder, I'm not really that easy. Boom. You've instantly shifted the power dynamic. You've signaled that you have standards. That you're the one evaluating. That your attention has to be earned. You didn't get defensive. You didn't try to impress her. You playfully flipped the situation. And the best part? She'll probably grin and respond with something like, oh really, or, is that so? That's your cue to turn up the charm. Maybe you say, yeah. I'm selective. Not just anyone gets through the gate. Now she's thinking, what makes me different? And that little question creates a powerful emotional hook. The psychology behind it. Let's break this down on a psychological level. Humans are wired to want what they can't easily have. It's called the scarcity principle, the idea that we place more value on things that are rare, exclusive, or hard to obtain. Think about luxury brands, VIP access, or limited time offers. The less available something is, the more we want it. When you tell a woman, "I'm not really that easy," in a fun, flirtatious way, you're positioning yourself as exclusive. You're communicating, without saying it directly, that your attention is a privilege, not a guarantee. And guess what? That makes her want it more. Subtext: you're a man with options. Another reason this phrase works so well is that it implies something deeper: you have options. You're not desperate. You're not clinging to the first attractive woman who gives you attention. You have standards, preferences, a life. And anyone who enters your world has to bring something real to the table. This kind of energy is incredibly attractive, because it's rare. Most guys bend over backwards for validation. But when you show that you're not swayed by looks alone, that you're looking for something deeper, it makes you stand out instantly. Setting the frame: you're the prize. In dating, there's always a frame, an invisible power dynamic that governs the interaction. The person who's more self-assured, more centered, and more confident usually sets that frame. When you use this phrase, you're saying, "I'm not chasing validation. I don't need to win you over. You'll have to earn my interest, just like I have to earn yours." And that's the key: mutual value. That's what makes this phrase so powerful. It suggests equality but also elevates your value by showing restraint. The delivery: confidence, humor, and mystery. Now, let's talk about delivery. Because the way you say this matters just as much as the words. Say it with a playful smirk, direct eye contact, a tone that's light and confident. Avoid sounding defensive, aggressive, or arrogant. The goal isn't to push her away, it's to create a fun challenge. When done right, this phrase makes the interaction feel like a flirtatious game instead of a desperate chase. It creates banter, tension, chemistry. And those are the ingredients of real attraction. When to use it? Timing is everything. Drop this line in moments like: she playfully mocks or teases you. She compliments you and expects a compliment in return. She asks a flirty or bold question. She tries to test your reaction with a provocative comment. In all of these situations, this phrase flips the pressure and creates playful tension. What if she tests you back? Let's say she throws it back at you. Maybe she says, "Oh really? You don't seem that hard to get. Well, you're not my type anyway." Perfect. You lean back, smile, and say, "See? Still trying. I told you I'm not that easy." Now it's banter. Now it's fun. Now the energy is light, mysterious, and exciting. Phrase 3, I'm not sure you can handle me, confidence meets challenge. Now we're stepping deeper into the psychology of attraction. This phrase adds a little more edge. It still carries humor and playfulness, but it introduces tension. The kind of tension that draws people in, keeps them guessing, and gets their imagination racing. Let's be clear, this isn't about arrogance. It's about confident self-presentation, with just enough mystery to keep things interesting. Why this phrase works like a charm. Imagine this: you're in a fun conversation with a woman. She's teasing you a bit. Maybe she's bragging about her career, her travel experiences, her spicy attitude. Most guys would either compliment her even more, try to one-up her, or awkwardly laugh it off. But you lean in. You pause. You smirk and say, "I don't know, you seem cool, but I'm not sure you can handle me." And then you let that silence breathe. You don't rush to explain. You don't clarify. You just let her wonder what you meant. And that pause, that unanswered question, it's electric. What this phrase really communicates: you're self-aware. You know you bring a lot to the table, and you're not afraid to say it. You're not easily impressed. Just because she's attractive, successful, or flirty doesn't mean you're instantly sold. You're setting a challenge. You're making her step up, not just sit back and be admired. And that subtle role reversal is deeply attractive. Why? Because most women are used to men chasing, complimenting, and proving themselves. But when you gently challenge her, you become the prize. How she'll react. The most common reaction. Curiosity. She'll ask. Why wouldn't I be able to handle you? What makes you think that? Oh really? Try me. And now she's engaged. Now she's chasing. And this isn't manipulation, it's play. It's flirtation. It's two adults enjoying the tension of mystery and mutual interest. Tone and timing matter. This isn't a phrase to drop randomly. Use it when she's showing confidence or sass. She's trying to dominate the interaction. She's being bold and you want to flirt back. Say it with a smirk. A twinkle in your eye. Relaxed body language. It's not about putting her down, it's about inviting her to rise to the challenge. Double down with a follow-up. If she bites and pushes back, you can raise the stakes. It's not just about keeping up. I'm a handful. I've got layers. Complicated ones. You might find out, if you're ready. These playful lines deepen the intrigue. They suggest that you're not just some predictable guy. That there's more to discover, and she'll have to work for it. The secret sauce, imagination and projection. Here's the real power behind this phrase. It makes her imagine things about you. When you say, I'm not sure you can handle me, her brain starts filling in the blanks. Is he wild in bed? Is he emotionally intense? Is he successful and high maintenance? Is he just confident in a way most guys aren't? She doesn't know. And that's exactly the point. Mystery creates emotional investment. And emotional investment drives attraction. What it says about you. When you use this phrase the right way, here's what you're projecting. Emotional intelligence. Comfort in your skin. The ability to lead an interaction. That you have experiences, opinions, and a life that isn't easily tamed. That's attractive. That's memorable. That's powerful. Bonus technique, body language. Want to level this up? Match your words with body language. Slight lean in, then lean back. Eyebrow raise when you say the line. Pause and hold eye contact for just a second longer. Let the silence do the work. She'll fill in the gap with intrigue. Phrase 4, I don't think you're ready for me yet. This phrase walks the perfect line between playful teasing and layered mystery, and when delivered at the right time, it lands like a spark in dry grass. It's subtle. It's powerful. And it taps into two of the most compelling psychological triggers, the fear of missing out and the allure of scarcity. The psychology behind it. Let's break this down. 1. Fear of missing out. FOMO. Humans are wired to want what they think they can't have. When you imply that she might not be ready for you, you're suggesting she could miss out on something rare, you. 2. Scarcity. When something is rare or exclusive, it becomes more valuable. By using this phrase, you instantly elevate your status to something not easily obtained. You're no longer just another guy. You're a challenge, a mystery, a prize. When and how to drop this line. Use this phrase when she's being cheeky, bragging, or trying to impress you. The key is to say it with a smirk, a calm tone, and a glint of curiosity in your eyes. Example. She says, "Oh please, I could totally handle a guy like you." You smile slightly and respond, "That's cute. But honestly, I don't think you're ready for me yet." Now you've thrown down a challenge. She's left wondering, what does that mean? Why wouldn't I be ready? What is he holding back? It subtly shifts the energy. She's now the one trying to prove herself to you. You've made her curious, and curiosity is one of the most seductive emotions you can spark in a person. Why it hits hard. Most guys are so busy trying to impress women that they forget the power of letting her try to impress you. When you say, "I don't think you're ready for me yet," you imply you have depth, standards, maybe even a little chaos or greatness that not everyone can handle. You're not being arrogant. You're being self-aware, and that's incredibly attractive. Bonus response. If she bites and says, "Why wouldn't I be ready?" don't explain. Just smile and say, "It's something you'll have to figure out." Boom. Mystery level, expert. Phrase 5, you have a unique personality. I like that. This one is deceptively simple. But done right? It's a psychological and emotional game changer. Why this phrase works. Here's the thing, most women get compliments all the time. But they're usually generic and surface level. "You're beautiful. I like your smile. You look amazing. Nice. Sure. Memorable. Not even close." But when you say, "You have a unique personality," you're cutting through the noise. You're not complimenting her appearance, you're appreciating her essence. And most importantly, you're recognizing something she might not even fully realize about herself. That's what makes it powerful. How to use it. This phrase hits hardest when she reveals a side of herself that most people don't notice. Maybe she shares an insight that's surprisingly deep. Talks about a passion with infectious energy. Makes a bold joke or unexpected observation. That's your moment. Look her in the eyes and say, "You know, you have a really unique personality. I like that." Optional extension. Most people try to fit in. You don't. That's rare. And rare is attractive. Now she's not just flattered, she's intrigued. She's wondering what you noticed, why it mattered to you, and what else you might see in her that no one else does. Why it's so effective. The real magic is that this phrase speaks to her identity, not just her appearance. And that creates an emotional impact. When someone feels truly seen, that connection stays with them. Delivery tips. Say it slowly. Keep your tone low and calm. Hold eye contact just a second longer than usual. This isn't a throwaway compliment. It's a high-impact emotional signal. Delivered right, it can shift the entire dynamic of your interaction. Phrase 6, I prefer women who know what they want. Now we enter territory that blends attraction, challenge, and a bit of subtle screening. What this phrase really does. This phrase works on multiple levels. It communicates standards, you're not chasing anyone. You have a type, and she'll need to qualify herself. It rewards confidence and clarity, women who know what they want often feel unappreciated, you're giving that quality value. It flips the frame, instead of her evaluating you, now she's wondering if she matches your expectations. When to use it. Drop this phrase when the topic of preferences, values, or dating comes up. If she says, "So what kind of women do you usually go for? What do you look for in a relationship?" Avoid the boring, predictable answers. Instead, lean back a little, pause, then deliver. Honestly, I prefer women who know what they want. Then stay quiet. Let the silence hang for a moment. Let her fill the space with thoughts like, do I know what I want? Is he testing me? What does he want exactly? You've just flipped the dynamic. Now she's in the spotlight. How to double down. If she pushes back with something playful like, and what if I do? Smile and say, then you might just be my type. Might. Again, keep it light, confident, and relaxed. This isn't a job interview. It's flirtation with standards. Why it works so well. So many men try too hard to gain approval. But when you communicate you have preferences, and that not everyone meets them, it signals high value. This makes her work a little to gain your attention. And what we work for, we value more. The tone. This line is all about calm confidence. No arrogance. No trying to sound clever. Just genuine clarity. That's what draws her in. It's not just what you say, it's the energy behind it. With this phrase, you position yourself as someone worth impressing. And that, more than anything, makes her want to be the one who impresses you. Final thoughts, unlocking real connection. These 6 phrases aren't about manipulation, they're about authentic, meaningful communication. Each one is designed to trigger curiosity, encourage engagement, and build genuine attraction, but it's not just about the words you say. It's the psychological impact behind them that creates real connection and sparks intrigue. Here's how these phrases work to your advantage. Spark real connection. These phrases push the conversation beyond the surface level. They make her think deeper, evoking curiosity and interest in who you really are. Instead of the usual small talk, you're setting the stage for a more engaging, meaningful exchange. Stand out from every other guy. In a world where everyone is trying to say the right things, these phrases help you differentiate yourself. By using subtle but impactful language, you show you're different from the typical guy who relies on generic compliments or empty flattery. Shift the dynamic to your advantage. When used correctly, these phrases shift the focus of the interaction. Instead of her trying to win your attention, you subtly position her to be invested in impressing you. This shift builds a deeper emotional investment on her part, which creates stronger attraction. Communicate high value without bragging. These phrases are about conveying your worth without coming off as arrogant or boastful. You communicate that you're someone who knows what he wants and is confident in his worth, but in a way that invites her to see it for herself. It's high-value behavior without saying a word about your accomplishments. Create emotional hooks that stick in her mind. Words like these leave a lasting impression. They make her think about you long after the conversation is over. Your phrases become the emotional hooks that trigger her curiosity, keeping you on her mind in a way that's both magnetic and intriguing. But here's the secret sauce: delivery. What you say is powerful, but how you say it is even more crucial. Words are just part of the equation. Relaxed confidence, tone, body language, and eye contact are your true tools for driving the message home. The way you say these phrases with ease and self-assuredness speaks volumes about your inner confidence and your ability to connect. Remember, keep it playful and light. The goal is to keep the conversation real and natural. If you come off as trying too hard, it can break the effect. But when done right, these phrases will shift the energy in the room, making her feel both intrigued and attracted. So, give these phrases a try in your next conversation. Watch how the dynamic changes. You'll notice the energy shift, and the connection you build will feel deeper and more exciting. If this video helped you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. For more tips on mastering confidence, connection, and communication, stay tuned. Our next video is already live, diving even deeper into the art of attraction.